Hey,
Maybe.
welcome everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping, where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. And this week, we are once again heading north of the border, where we are going to tackle Woodbine Racing in Toronto, Canada, as we pass the time waiting for the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita. The pick four starts with race number 8. It finishes in race number 11. You've got a pair of grade ones in there. Don't split them. So they're in races 8 and 9 in the sequence. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. So I've got Ray Torado, who's going to join us from Staten Island, New York. So, Ray, we've only got 2 more shows now left before the Breeders' Cup. So I'm continuing to peek ahead here. And we had the flop of Run Happy the previous week. Last week we had the flop of Tepin. So I'm asking you, who do you like in the Turf Mile? And no fair picking out some fancy Euro horse nobody here knows about.
uh, there's got to be one out there just waiting for first-time Lasix. Actually, you know what? Even though Tepin got a little dusted last week from that speedball horse for Fletcher, but I'm still gonna go with Tepin. She'll bounce back. Tepin's a pick.
All right. And of course, we've got a pair of racing analysts. We don't split them either. So our other racing analyst, he's not in Temecula tonight. Our good friend, he's a Raider fan, Joe English, joins us all the way from Sin City, USA. He's in Las Vegas tonight. Welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Rich. How you doing?
Joe, you know what? I wanted to thank both you and Ray for kind of keeping up the Three Broke Guys unspoken mantra for this show, which is, I think, rain or shine, vacation or work, band, dance recital, Boy Scouts. We handicap. All right. We get together at handicap. Joe's in Las Vegas. He still made the show tonight for you guys. So I really wanted to thank both of you. I really appreciate it.
No.
By my count, the show has now been on for 32 out of 33 weeks. And dang, I only wish we had picked winners that consistently each week.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
There's probably no actual grass within 25 miles of your current location, but I'm going to give you the same question. Who do you like in the Turf Mile at the Breeders' Cup?
Can I take Frankel?
Should you take Frankel?
Frankel?
Fantasy racing, yes, you would be able to take Frankel, but tonight I'm actually looking for a horse who's still on the circuit.
I kind of agree with Ray. I don't know that I wouldn't necessarily call Tepin's race a flop. I just think protocol ran out of her skin. I think Tepin will still be there. And actually, you may actually get a better price on her just by a tick or two now. So I would still stick with the champion.
Things happen.
Right, one noticeable horse who did not flop in his prep race.
Hey, he should win a Tough Mile. He should win a Tough Mile and the Breeders' Cup Classic. What do you think? Same day.
Yeah. No.
You can do it.
I gave you all a sneak preview into the Breeders' Classic question when that one comes up in a couple of weeks. All right, props to Mr. Torado for last week. Unfortunately, the Broke Guys, we could not dial in our pick four last week at Keeneland Racetrack. But had we followed Ray's lead, we would have at least batted 500. So nice call on dropping. I believe you wanted us to drop Stonetastic and to take. I'm trying to think of the name of the winner now. I can't recall. Joe.
Classic Empire.
Classic Empire.
Yeah.
Time for a brief weather update. The forecast in Toronto, Canada, province of Ontario, calls for mostly sunny skies with a high temperature of 66 degrees. Humidity is at 72% and a slight wind at 11 miles an hour. I think that's downright balmy for this area, Canada. A total of 11 races. There's 4 stakes and 2 grade ones on tap for Saturday. For tonight, we are focused on the pick 4. It begins in race number 8. It concludes in race number 11. Gentlemen, gates are locked and loaded. Shall we go ahead and get started?
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, race number 8. Approximate post time is 4:56 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a $250,000 guaranteed pick 4. It's guaranteed $250,000 on the 20-cent wager, and that is what we'll be playing as the Three Broke Guys tonight. So this is the one track in America so far where we've actually gone down to the 20-cent wager. This is race number 8. It is the E.P. Taylor Stakes presented by HPI Bet. Grade 1 going 1.25 miles on the turf. First is $500,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. 13 starters, and your morning line favorite in 3-to-1 at 3-to-1 is in post number 3. best in the world, who could possibly be named for either his trainer, Aidan O'Brien, or his jockey, Ryan Moore. Joe, you're in Vegas. There's 13 starters, and I see European turf invaders on just about every page of this race, including the morning line favorite. Are they coming for revenge after losing the Ryder Cup to the Yankees?
Well, it's funny. I was reading a post by Marcus Hirsch on the Daily Racing Form website, and in the two grade ones in the pick four, the Europeans or the international teams won 7 out of the 10, 7 out of the last 10. So unfortunately, the Yanks are probably not going to get this job done. I'm with the morning line favorite, unfortunately, and you could very well be right. He best in the world could be named for his trainer. Aidan O'Brien is a wizard. First time LASIK's coming over. The combination of O'Brien and Ryan Moore is terrific, and I was actually able to check the Racing Post website to take a quick look at some of the competition. And some of the horses that Best in the World's been running against, Chamarine, Somehow, Pretty Perfect, and Somidar, all graded winners over there. So I think she's been running against the best. I don't know that they've brought their best over here for her to beat. But I think, so again, I'm going to take the morning line favorite. I'm going to take the chalk. I know it's probably a pretty contentious field, but I think she's the top pick for me. And of course, Galileo's had a banner week, banner month, and he's a sire of distance horses on the turf. So I don't see any reason why this would change anything. My second choice would be the 2. I think it's pronounced Parvane. Also first time LASIK's. And she went in Germany and finished a respectable 4th in a grade 1 against the boys. She only got beat 2 lengths. She again gets first time LASIK's. And Flavien Prat gets up. So Parvane draws a nice cozy inside post. I think she's the one to beat of the Euros. And the other Euro I'm going to take is the 10, Aim to Please, who comes out of a good grade 3 in France, and Gerard Mousset comes along for the ride. The horse that she lost to 2 starts back at Deauville, Trixia, is I believe 5 for 8 lifetime, so she's a big winner. She actually, after that race, she got drilled in 2 grade 1s. So at least they had some foresight and they knew that she was good enough to try, at least they thought she was good enough to try grade 1s. Didn't work out, but it shows that the horse that Aim to Please has been running against have been pretty good. The horse has no distance experience, but again, this is what the Euros are bred to do. So I'm going in that order in the EP Taylor. Ray, take it away.
Well, I guess with this field here, this would be a very spreadable race, and you know what that means, right? The 20 cents wager. I guess you could call me. You could put the American flag on me because I'm going to be benching some American horses because these European past performances, I can't read them for nothing. I can see only the finish. So let's just take it like a stab at it. But I'm going to go with actually number 7, Al's Gal. It's a big race day, and here we go. The Ramses are here. So it came within a length of C. Khaleesi and the Beverly D. Still looking for that extra kick to get that grade 1. Here comes Florent Giroux, who actually is the 2nd in the nation in greatest stakes wins. And Maker and Giroux are 38% in the last 24 races. So 10-1 is a good price for me. I do like number 1, Swiss Range. It's a 3-year-old. Based on the comments, looks like she has speed and she got the rail. So most likely she'll be sent unless she gets a bad start. Was in the race the last time for the Nassau Stakes until she tried late and she lost to a very nice horse called Minding, who I believe is 7 for 11, and graded company. And actually, I think 2-year-old champ. First time LASIK's in the U.S., you use your plus. John Godskin used to be a trainer in California. Has his own jock, Joel Rosario. He's training in Britain now. So since there's a 20 cents minimum, I got a few more horses to mention here. Number 4, Suffused, 12-1. Matt Jose Ortiz should come running, but is up in class. Number 5, Reina de Bataria, number 4-1. Brown like Peru should come running over the course. One over the course of the grade 2 Canadian. First time 10 furlong, so that's going to be a challenge for her. Number 6, Manzari, Bobby Flay horse. 4 for 5 this year in lesser races. First time in the U.S. And number 11, Guapaza, other Chad Brown. Don't split them, please. May prevail longer. If the hot pace develops, she probably become running. And she won through grade 3 wire. And Castellano, who's the leader in the grade 6 U.S., has them out for the number 11. So we got 7-1 and timidly 4, 5, 6, 11. It's Keno time. Rich, we got stuff at the EP Taylor.
It was a tough race. Unfortunately, in the end, I have a feeling that the Euros are going to plant their flag in the first of the 2 grade 1s here. And that's kind of the way I handicapped this race. And unfortunately, we brought this up earlier, at least unfortunately, if you're an American fan. I would sit there and say that the track profile plays a little bit into that. So Woodbine, being outside the United States, is set up a little bit differently. It seems like to me, from the years that I've watched Woodbine like that it plays a little bit more friendly to the Euro style. And in the end, I settled on the chalk as well as Joe did. So I ended up with best in the world. Aidan O'Brien, kind of like a supermodel. He doesn't cross over the ocean. They won victories. And it looks like he brought a really classy filly with him this time. We've talked about this before, that first time Lasix angle. O'Brien particularly strong on that. And comes with Brian Moore along. So again, not really sure if it was the jockey, the trainer, or the horse, but somebody in this combination here is definitely the best in the world. My second pick, I guess just looking for a price, and I really was just looking for a price to see if I could come up with it. Initially, this was my top horse, the Bobby Flay horse, as Ray called him. Has won 4 of her last 5 races over in France. Banzari, I believe is how you pronounce that. They've been against solid competition, solid fields over there. Game Theory, the horse that actually beat her, I've seen that horse as well before. So this is solid competition, proven at the distance. If you need a second horse, besides the favorite, besides going just with the top here, I would just use the 6. I do not disagree with what Mr. Torado came up with. If it's not the favorite who wins this race, this could be anybody's race. They are all, it looks like, very, very well equally matched and like that. And I really did like the number 1. This is Juddmonte Farms, this Swiss range one. If I was going to use an extra one, I probably would end up using the entire field or building, as my good friend Ray does, a Keno ticket there. So I just went with the 3 on top and the 6 underneath. I believe Joe's got the 3 on top with the 2 and the 10 underneath. And Ray has the 7 and the 1 on top with the 4, 5, 6, and 11 underneath.
Keno.
Yeah. I didn't break out the Keno machine for him. I should have forecasted it, and that kind of a race with as much trouble as I had getting through it. Like I said, I just kind of settled on the idea of the Ryder Cup and picking the Euros versus the United States. And I really like Reina Bacteria. I like Guapaza. Those were all good, solid horses. I just decided that sometimes those Euros on the turf, going 1.25 miles on meandering, long horse races, they just seem to get it. And if there's any moisture in that track at all, if it gets wet and it kind of gets down bog-like, you can lock it in for the European. All right. Let's see. I think I'm coming back to you guys. Yeah, I'm back on the screen. And we are off to race number 9. And race number 9 is the Pattison Canadian International Stakes. It's a grade 1 going 1.5 miles on the turf. The purse is $1 million. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards. 9 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 3, Idaho, trained by, where have we heard this before? Aidan O'Brien and ridden by Ryan Moore. And we actually just get a tape recorder for tonight. Ray, we've seen quite a few of these guys, including the Pizza Man and Wake Forest and World Approval, who I know you really like. Euro Turf Invaders will caught the eye of the line maker in Toronto. What do you think of the Pattison International Stakes?
Well, I'm actually going to go to European, so change my flag. I do like 5, Dartmouth. First time in the U.S., first time Lasix. The distance should be no problem here. The style fits the profile of the track, just stalker. and will push at the half-mile pole. And William Buick is a big-time Euro rider, so 7-2 is a good price. Um, from the trio that have been running and beating each other, and Wake Forest, Pizza Man, all these horses, I think Wake Forest can have a big race. Winner of the Man of War. I think Castellano switched to him, could put him in the winner's circle. He placed in the Northern Dancer over the course his last time out. He needs to work out a trip from the back of the pack, so you could have some traffic problems there. But Castellano, he's a top stakes jockey in the country. So at 10-1, it's a good price. Underneath, we got our old man, the Pizza Man, 7-year-old veteran, winner 1741, 4-10 the distance. He likes a mile and a half. He won the Northern Dancer over the course. So you get the Pizza Man and Wake Forest, the two horses that ran over the course. He gets Flavor Pratt. He won the last time he won with him. Also, my ticket number 9, Protectionist. He's a weird horse. I see he won $3.7 million. I have to do some research on him. He actually won the Melbourne Cup in 2014. Had a big year that year because he did nothing. And he seems to be getting back on track. So he's 3 for 3. And he might be back to his winning form because he made a lot of money in the 2014. So in Australia. I guess he like Germany. So those are my picks there. You got Dartmouth 5, Wake Forest 6, and underneath the 4, Pizza Man, and 9, Protectionless. All right, Joe, we get set at the Canadian International. $1 million.
We actually, I don't know. I guess I'm going to keep the Euro flag for this as well. I guess
Maybe.
I'm not going to knock Aiden O'Brien and Ryan Moore, and I'm going to go with the chalk here. And again, first time LASIK, that combo is great. And one of the horses that Tarzan is our horse as well. So I'm going to stick with the Euro. The second Euro I like actually is the number 8, and the horse's name is Erupt. And if you go back to the Arc de Triomphe in 2015, you will see that this horse ran 5th to a couple of pretty good horses. And a couple of them that we might know. Golden Horn, who was the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Turf last year and got beat by Found, and some guy named is Flint. How do you pronounce that?
Flintshire.
Flintshire. Oh, okay, yeah. He's again very talented. He's been running against some good ones. Siljan Saga, the horse that he ran second to last, that he got beat by on Arc Day. Actually, wasn't on Arc Day. Who also finished 4th in the Arc this year, behind Found. So this, and Highland Real is also very talented and was a contender early in the season. So I like Erupt because I think he's just been running against some better horses. And what I've noticed about the American horses is that Wake Forest and World Approval and the Pizza Man seems like they keep beating each other. And none of them can really assert their dominance. And I think the Europeans are going to do that here. And then, of course, I like Ray's top pick, Dartmouth. He's my third choice. Basically for all the same reasons that Ray mentioned. And the horse likes to win. He's 7-14 and he's first time LASIK. So in order for me, 3, 8, 5, and I'm the European chalk eating weasel for the first 2 legs. I will pass it on to Rich. Rich, what do you think of the Pattison?
Right. I've told you before, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a chalk eating weasel. That's like my spirit animal. I did not settle on the chalk this time. I used 2. But I again allowed the Europeans to plant their flag. It's up in Canada, so it's not on United States soil or anything like that. So, and again, Woodbine kind of made for them. So the horses, first time LASIK. This is Dartmouth, Michael Studmeyer, and William Buick. So I was just looking for a little variety to see if I could upset the apple cart just a little bit. If I was going to play it myself, I would also use the 3. The 3 kind of scared me in this spot, Idaho. So I like the 3 and the 5. And underneath, if I could, and I was going to play it again, if I was playing it myself, I would probably use all three of them. And now I'm thinking I might even use all four because the 8 also has one of my favorite jockeys, Stefan Pasquier, up there. He came along for the ride on Joe's horse or up, so I might have to use a fourth one as well. But they're all going to be Euros or, as Joe or as Ray pointed out, an Australian protectionist. For those of you who stay up late at night, and there was one person last week who actually hit me up on Twitter for that, doing that. We started watching Hong Kong together, so I appreciate that. For those of you who stay up late at night, we watch Hong Kong, we watch Australia together and things like that. So we're all very, very familiar with protectionist. He was a legend down there. Ray already caught it. He won the Melbourne Cup. He's won the Australia Cup. He's kind of like a national hero. I went number 9 underneath, 3 and 5 on top. Again, sorry for all the American horses. A lot of whom, guys like Pizza Man, Waldobruegel, and Wake Forest have been all over our show ever since we came on, and not even I went 3, 5, 9. Ray went, I went 3, 5 with the 9 underneath. Ray went 5, 6 on top with the 4 and the 9 underneath. And Joe went 3 on top, the 8 underneath, and the 5 underneath.
Yes.
All right. Hello. All right. We are moving along now to race number 10. We're all out of grade 1s, unfortunately, folks. So this was an N1X allowance race. They are going 6.5 furlongs on the all-weather track. I like to call it gray dirt. For 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, or restricted allowance, or which have never won 2 races. The purse is $58,600. 11 starters, and your morning line favorite at 3-1 is in post number 3, Touch of Disney, trained by Norman McKnight and ridden by Omar Moreno. Joe, you know Disney films always have a happy ending. Are we going to need a touch of Disney to become to a happy ending on Sunday?
Well, actually, Rich, it's news to me. I did not know of the jockey change to Omar. You said Omar Moreno or
Omar Moreno.
Okay, that's kind of news to me, and it kind of throws me off because one of the things I thought I liked about the horse was the jockey trainer combination as a positive ROI of 3.62 at Woodbine in 2015-16, and I'm kind of wondering about the jockey change now.
Who was the previous jock, Joe?
The one I have is listed as K. Johnson.
Yeah, Cub Johnson.
This would be an upgrade. Moreno's a more successful jockey, and if you look, the combination with Norman McKnight is 67% when they hit together.
And what's the size? How many sample size? I'm sorry. What's the sample?
3.
How many? Oh, okay.
Small sample size. He likes them.
Obviously.
Moreno would be considered an upgrade at Woodbine over Johnson.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thing about it is McKnight's hitting 30%, so I think they could put Ray might be able to get on this horse and get this one home.
I'm ready.
And again, I guess it's the 3, and they're all favorites, at least for the first 3 parts of this. And yeah, I like Touch of Disney. The figures are good enough to win this spot. Nice bullet work on October 2nd, 46 flat over the Woodbine surface. And again, like I said, one of my key angles was the jockey trainer combination. It's a smaller sample size, but again, the trainer's a 30% trainer at Woodbine at this meet and 29% of the year. So I don't have an issue. I'm not really sure who they could put a lot of different jockeys on the horse and they would probably be successful. My second choice is the 8 Opportunity Rocks. Eurico da Silva gets back up. The horse had a rough trip in his last start, and jockey trainer combination. And this is also strong, 39% of a sample size of 70. It's third off a brief freshening, 28% trainer. And the horse's speed figures were getting better until it actually broke its maiden first time versus winners. Broke well, but couldn't sustain it. Maybe it was the all-weather track. I'm not sure exactly what happened that day, but I'm willing to give a pass, considering that Da Silva gets back on, and he's at 24%. Third choice, Daylight Breeze. I'll try and make it brief. Big return from an 11-month layoff, so he's a bounce possibility for me. But in that last race, the race shape turned out to be it was very fast at the end, and he was trying to close into that and couldn't. So I got to give him a little bit of a break, and maybe it wasn't a bounce. Maybe he just hung. Maybe he's just a little short that day. So I'll give him another shot. And the other horse I have to add is Breadwinner. The horse is he had a wide trip in his return to the surface. He seems like he I'm not sure he likes to win. Obviously, he's 4 for 21, which is better than most in this race, but he's been at the non-winners of one level 5 times in a row now without success. So again, if we have to go deep, it's 3, 8, 7, 6 for me. We could really probably cut it off at the 3 and the 8 if we had to, if it was my choice. So 3, 8, 7, 6 in that order for me. Ray, what do you have to say about this non-winners of one contentious event?
These horses never win. Well, actually, okay. We got a few here. Number 9, Conquest Espresso. Stays at the same level. Second race off the layoff. I see a big upside in this one, and he shouldn't last in this condition long. Cassie Conquest Stable, they place their horses pretty well, and Castellano's aboard. He didn't need a better start and can sit outside the leaders. Looking for a long shot here, number 5, Undercover Cat, who's 15 to 1. Been placing in this condition, some seconds, some thirds. Trainer Attard tried removing blinkers to no success in his last race, and now he puts them back on. He's a stalker type, which may be good here for the track profile. 64% near or on the lead, winners at this distance. The jockey Emma Jane Wilson will give us a chance to yell out the name Emma Jane. Come on, Emma Jane.
Number many times.
Yeah, how many times down the stretch? Number 2, Call Me Wally. He's been in this condition for the last few races also. His last race, don't think he wanted to be that far back. He closed a nice second, going 6 furlongs. The combination of Morin Budaleg is a moderate combination there of 10%. And then we get the favorite, number 3, Touch of Disney. Second time at this level. Previously with State Breds. A good second on the turf is last. Working bullets, like you said before. He could find himself on the lead. It could be a factor here. So I would go with the 9, 5, and underneath the 2 and the 3. All right, Rich, what do you guys say about this allowance race? 9 wins of 2.
Yeah, this one was a killer. This one's made for that button that I sometimes draw on the page where you just it's on every machine that we all go to when you're playing the Pick 4. So. But in this case, actually, Ray touched on the horse that I like best. They're kind of near the end. I ended up going with Call Me Wally. I know the combination is not real strong between Footgag and Damien Moran. But if you look here, the horse had some trouble. He's steady. 3 back in a little stakes race that was up there at Woodbine. And then the next 2 short opportunities were, a second in an 8-horse race where he was off slow, had a little bit of trouble, and then rallied there at the end. And then you see here, this happens in 14-horse races. You kind of see that notation of the Woodbine herded, crowded, whatever it was. But the start, again, the last 2 times has not been what the horse was hoping for. So I decided to go ahead and try and see if I could beat the favorite here, although I wouldn't toss the favorite. So I went 2-3. I got a note from somebody who's watching the show, Joe, who wonders if maybe you've been hanging around with me a little bit too often. And I would imagine that's an allusion to eating a lot of chocolate. So the 2 and the 3 for me here, I think that's kind of funny. The other horse that I was going to mention, if I'm not mistaken, was down here, and I liked was the 9 that Ray brought up as well. And that's Conquest Espresso with Mark Cassie and Javier Castellano. Flashy, 100% together. For those of you who know, Conquest Stables is getting ready to get out of the business, so maybe this is one of the last runnings for this horse under the Conquest Stable banner as they get ready to sell off their whole entire stable coming up, I think, in some open sale in November.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And again, if you look at the last one, as a matter of fact, I would almost put the 9 up right on that same line with the 2 and the 3, looking at this. And again, kind of remember how I handicapped this. The 2 races here was the victory at the maiden special weight race. This is your first try against winners, and this is a tough level here at Woodbine. This is that optional claiming 80,000 for non-winners of 1. And again, in a 7-horse race, just missed, and then came right back at this condition, at this level, in a horse that was going to be a turf race, was washed off the turf, and came back and finished in a not too bad 5th. Luis Contreras was aboard that day, broke inward, steadied, still game. So the horse showed a lot. So as I think about that, I would probably amend mine, and I would go 2, 3, 9. Actually, all on my top line. So I've got 2, 3, 9. I think Ray's got 9 and 5 with the 2 and the 3 underneath. And again, Joe's playing Rich's role tonight, and he's just eating chalk after chalk. He's got the 3 on top. He's got the 8, and he's also got the 7 and the 6 underneath.
No excuse, but my teeth did not have morning lines on them. But anyway.
All right, we're coming back. No, you know, I stayed up the whole time. I never did show you guys the phone. I apologize. Let me bring it up for you. And off to our finale here, race number 11. This is a claiming race for 3-year-olds and upward. They have never won 2 races. They're going 1 mile and a 16th on the gray dirt, the all-weather surface if you prefer. The purse is $19,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 6. Durango Flyer, trained by Reed Baker and ridden by Emma Jane Wilson, is 3 to 1 on the morning line. Ray, once again, we get what looks like a wide open affair here in the finale. Find us a winner, and let's cash our 20-cent pick four.
Well, actually, it's funny to say that the PPs that we got this week, they had no morning lines. So, you know, I handicapped accordingly with horses that I liked. And there was some that came out 12, 15 to 1. There were some favorites. I'm like, wow. So I was surprised at some of these horses at the odds that we came up with. But this race I came up with, these are one somebody here will come out of this group, hopefully. And I'm gonna go with number 6, Durango Flyer. He was one of the one favorite. Just missed last time at 9 to 1, adding blinkers. Second race at this $20,000 level. Seems to be able to stay near or on the pace on the all-weather track. And got that jockey again, Emma Jane Wilson. Let's go, Emma Jane. And started the year in Southern California, claimed from Earton, and now he's here. Oh, California, there you go. In Canada. Yep, I saw that. Which definitely shows that this horse been running with better. You know, because the California circuit horses are, you know, the classes, the conditions are all much better than Woodbine. Sorry, Woodbine, but that's just how it is. So that's my top pick. Like number 5, Philly Completely. First time going long, broke his bane wire to wire while adding blinkers. I like this horse, and when I saw he was 12 to 1, which I found out later on, I was pretty surprised. But I'm, you know, more lines don't affect me, so I just gonna, you know, stay with him. I had good 2 solid workouts since. He could get out this 9 wins of 2 pretty quickly if he runs back to, you know, this race. He might just like going the distance, the pace of the distance races. He just might like it last time. And big rider Woodbine Patrick Husbands keeps the mount, which is a good sign. Also number 8, Bold Gent. He won up 50. He's 15 to 1 with the morning line. First time in the 20,000 now wins of 2 at 22 to 1. He ran on the rail and he closed pretty well. Only beating 2.5 lengths, finishing 5th. You got a good rider switch to Luis Contreras. Well, the silver's pretty good too, but yeah. And Luis Contreras gets the mount here. And those are my 3 horses. The 6, the 5, and the 8. Joe, we gotta say this is a one for lifer race. One of those that they will just escape, and the other ones will stay here.
This is one of those that somebody has to win.
Yeah.
And 2 of my horses.
Oh,
2. Yeah, I guess if there's a dead heat, sure.
Yeah.
2 of the horses that you mentioned are my underneath horses, the 6 and the 8. And I'm going to be very. I'm trying to use the right word. I'm going to try and be sensitive here. I will not put a horse like Durango Flyer on my top line in a race ever until he proves that he can get to the winner's circle. 1 for 22 lifetime is just not do it for me. Again, he's underneath for me, but I don't have him on top. So I just really need to mention one horse. Now, can somebody tell me what the morning line is on number 10, Red September?
10?
5-1.
5-1.
I am not. I'm done with being a chalk eating weasel. I'm just looking back at his last 3 races. When De Silva got up, he dropped a little bit in class and got home 2 and 3, almost 3 lengths clear at the maiden 20 level. So I think, well, maybe De Silva was the key to winning. And again, nothing against Emma Jane Wilson or Davy Moran. But I think maybe De Silva had something that the other jocks didn't. Then last time out, the horse ran on the turf. The horse's original turf spot was a maiden special weight for Ontario breds. And the horse didn't, I don't know that the horse necessarily wants to be on the turf. And I think last time he showed it, he ran terribly even with De Silva. It was first time against winners, and it was non-winners at 2. But the horse drops back into a more reasonable level and gets back onto the surface that he broke his maiden. Not wild about the 10 post, but at 5-1, I'll take the shot. So my top choices in this spot will be 10, 8, 6 in that order. And I know Ray mentioned Bull Gen also. So again, 10, 8, 6 for me. Rich?
10, 8, 6. And let's see. You'd really have to be shocked if you knew that I wasn't going to talk about the California horse, or at least bring that up. Joe kind of caught on to the one that I had brought up. Durango Flyer was a California horse, and for anybody who knows it with that and actually saw him with that, he just was not a very good California horse. So his name jumped right out at me. I've seen Durango Flyer now for a couple of years. I'm out here in California. He is 1 for 22. It is what it is. He got close in his last one, and I would sit there and say that horses that are 1 for 22, they do that on occasion. So. But Ray's right. California is a much different circuit than Woodbine racing. But if you notice, he's been at Woodbine now for a couple of months. He's had 4 starts up there, and he hasn't won yet up there. So I wasn't quite sure if he would be my number 1 horse or my top horse. Joe already found it. It was Red September. Eureka Rosa De Silva looked like he had options in this one. That was what Ray alluded to a little bit earlier. When he brought up Luis Contreras stepping in on, which horse was it?
Oh, Bulgin. 8.
The Bulgin. And so De Silva could have been on this horse. It looks like he had the option that's there with John Mateen. Instead, he opts to go with the 10. I like that kind of a switch. So I'll go ahead and play it. I'm not a big fan of the speed on the gray dirt. Or the early speed on the gray dirt. One of the things will be key to do, which we didn't get a great chance to do that last time, was to go ahead and watch it, since this is going to be on a Sunday instead of a Saturday. And fans, if I didn't bring that up and make it clear at the very beginning, this is the Sunday card, not the Saturday card. So hopefully I'll be able to watch, what's going on in the gray dirt before we go ahead and place our bets, just to see how speed is holding. But the 10 ended up being my top pick. And then I think I backed it up underneath with the chalk, because that Durango Flyer kind of concerns me in a race like this, where it seems like he's better than everybody else. But I still didn't think he had necessarily what it would take to be my single, or by any chance, the top horse that I had on the top line. I think I heard, Ray, was it Philly Completely that you mentioned as well? Robert Tiller, Patrick Husbands. That's a really solid combination up there at Woodbine. The horse is moving up in class. There's not a whole lot in this race. So I've seen this before at Woodbine, that the maiden claiming 16,000, they do have the ability to jump right up. And when it's Robert Tiller, Patrick Husband combined, I would just kind of keep that in mind. My top pick is the 10 with the 6 underneath and the 5. Ray's got the 6, the 5, and the 8, and I believe Joe has the 10 on top with the 6 and 8 underneath.
Yep.
All right. I'll come back to you. I will go ahead and bring up our pick 4 template to begin this.
Can I ask a question?
20 cents time.
Absolutely, Joe.
I'm going to ask a question. While I'm in Vegas, any football pick for Saturday or Sunday? And don't give me UCLA and don't give me the Giants, Dorado.
Michigan. They can score points.
Did you have a minus 77 against Rutgers?
Finally, they have a team that can compete. You know, they always lose early in the year, get knocked out of BCS
Well, thankfully, there's no more BCS.
or whatever it is. I go
No.
back to Rick Leach Day, so.
Not the CFP, college football playoff.
Not football.
No, if anybody got any football picks, anything?
Oh, hang on.
I'm in last
Well,
place in that pool.
let me finish this template, and I will be right with you.
Yeah, bet the team I don't like. I do like
football at the exact same time, but
No, I was just wondering in case anybody had, considering you guys knew I was coming out here, but that's okay, no worries. Believe me, I can find enough games to lose my money on.
I'm trying to think. Is there any college teams this weekend that I really did like? Besides UCLA, and no, it wouldn't even be UCLA since I'm not really all that high on them right now. God, Washington has just been rolling everybody lately.
I'm gonna say they might. Are they on a bye? Hang on a second. Let me pull it up just to make sure. I'm not sure if they're on. Actually, they're on a bye this week. They play Oregon next week. Yeah, Washington. Yeah, they scored 70 last week too.
You take Florida at home. Lay the points. Lay the 13.
Who are they playing?
Missouri.
Oh.
Light it up. There's a team for your parlay. I have no idea. That's it to me.
So basically,
I like oranges.
I'm going to be mean here. So it's just like horse racing.
I like oranges.
Just like horse racing.
Listen, I bet the gray horse because they're easy to see on the screen.
Is that why you
That's why we're broke.
The pool so much?
I didn't mention this week. Watch him win.
I know you didn't.
People in the audience, I did not pick Walter Poole. I did not mention him. He will win today. That's Sunday.
Yeah, better put some money down on that.
The anti-rich end?
That,
Right.
Rich when rich.
3 is 9 times 4 is 36.
Everybody else should get on.
Let's see here. Just to make sure I got this right, it's 4 times 4 times 3 times 3.
I'm sorry, I just see you.
Let's see.
Maybe it's way out here in the.
I think it says I'm screen sharing to everyone.
Okay, yeah,
guys-
I'm sorry. I don't see you. That's all. I'm just saying.
Where do you see the numbers?
I don't see the template.
yeah, 137,
Okay.
356, 2359, and 56810.
Yep.
Okay. That's for 20 cents. How much is that?
154.
16.
15, 40. $30.80. 30.80.
3 by 3 by 4 by 4.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
4 by 4 is 16 times 3 is 48 times 3.
It's actually 20. Is I thought
2880.
144.
144.
Yeah. 1/5 of that. Yeah, that's fine. Sounds good to me, fellas.
Yeah.
And of course, it may change if there are any scratches or any issues.
Yep.
Normally we handicap for a Saturday card, as everybody else and everybody in the audience knows, but this is a Sunday card, so we don't have early scratches. So just be wary of that.
Absolutely. Okay. So I've got 137 with 356 with 2359 with 56810. And because Joe is locked in the land of online gambling, Rich is getting to actually place this bet this week for the three broke guys. All right. All right. I'm coming back. All right. Anybody have anything before we turn Joe loose on Sin City and notify the authorities to be careful, be on the lookout, put a bolo?
I don't have anything said. I was just wondering.
There's a horse race tomorrow, Theory. Supposed to be a big 2-year-old for the Pletcher barn. If you want to bet him, I say bet him before the futurity.
What's the
Odds
name?
are gonna drop. Theory.
As in theory, as in Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, Theory. Yeah.
Okay.
He's 75-1, Joe. So yeah.
He's 75-1. He hasn't even.
He only was one time.
And he has.
Like 9-4.
Oh, okay. So he won already.
He broke his band, yeah, 109-4. Then he's running the futurity tomorrow, so he got high promise for him. So 75-1.
Yeah, like I said, I'll probably head over to the Win after this and take a look and see what the odds are on some of the Derby contenders when I get over there.
Yeah, we'll talk after. Yeah, I want to horse review. I have some horse review, so.
Well, yeah, sure. No problem. No, sir.
Okay. All right. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed this show, then we will get back together next week when we're going to take a look at another exciting card. And right now we don't know which card that is just yet, but we will get back to you and let you know once we decide that. All right, gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It is always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you.
Yes, always.
It's always fun.
For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.